Hey everyone, I'm back again with another video, and this one is a two-story video, so be sure to stick around for the second story as well. The first one is titled, Wife of 10 Years with a 7-year-old Child Together Cheated, and I'm Devastated. Let's get right into it. Allow me to explain in detail what has transpired this past Friday, and I would like advice and suggestions from this supportive community. I have been with my wife for 10 years and had a son 3 years into the relationship with her, and we live with her son, 19, and daughter who's 16 from a previous marriage. My wife and I both work hotel jobs, and due to COVID, our hotels are closed and we're both unemployed. She claimed that she could not be in the house all day and went and found a cleaning job off the books and was using my car to go to work. I started noticing the usual signs of coming home later than usual and saying traffic was bad, but the difference in time was always 1 or 2 hours after she should have been home, and also my advances were being rejected with "I'm too tired." I was nervous and had a gut feeling, so I started paying more attention, and it turns out after she would reject my advances, she would be on WhatsApp all night, either in the kitchen or bathroom away from me. And the thing is, WhatsApp tells you the last time a person was on, so while I text something sweet or "I love you," it was left on read while she's on WhatsApp. Finally, on Friday, it was 11 p.m, she should have been home already, and I kept calling and she did not pick up. I guess in one of the attempts of declining, she picked up and ended up leaving a 4-minute voicemail of her with another man in my car kissing. And then she farted and they both laughed, and he says, "Get away from me, stinky." Then they proceeded to say that I was calling too much and that she should go home, and then he said, "Too bad, look how hard you got me." Which then she replied, "I'm always in the mood," and they ended the encounter with "I love you" to each other. After I played her the voicemail, she cried and said I pushed her to do it because I don't pay enough attention to her or take her out anymore. Guess she forgot it's still COVID and I'm on unemployment. I'm crushed and haven't ate or slept well in 3 days. Oh, and she already has a new apartment to move into, and this happened 4 days ago. How? Please help me understand this, my friends. And the first comment says, "Already has an apartment? Then she was already in the process of leaving you. Find an attorney." And the OP replied, "Exactly what I thought. I do feel bad for sending the voicemail evidence to her son and daughter. I shouldn't have done that, but I was angry and felt betrayed." And another commenter replied, "They're old enough to know the truth." And another commenter says, "Nonsense. You do not have an obligation to keep her secrets for her." And another commenter says, "If your kids are old enough to handle these things, I highly agree that you did the right thing and exposed it." And the OP replied, "Those were her kids from a previous marriage. God knows if the same exact thing happened to that man, and this is a pattern we have a 7-year-old in common." And the next commenter says, "Do you have a relationship with these kids where they might want to stay with you instead of their incredibly destabilizing cheating mother?" And the OP replied, "Only the 7-year-old is mine. The other 2 are from a previous marriage. Their father never were in their lives and doesn't even call them, or her. I just thought another deadbeat, but now I wonder if he had the same experience as me, and this is a lifelong pattern for her." And the next comment says, "It was an exit affair. She cried because you have proof she betrayed you, but she's glad you found out because she no longer wants you to be her partner. You're in pain because rejection and betrayal by someone you trusted is like being stabbed in the back by someone supposed to protect it. Get a lawyer, then a therapist. Don't humiliate yourself by doing the pick-me dance. Your life will not be normal for quite some time. If I may ask, how can a chambermaid who needs to use your car to go to work afford an apartment so easily?" And the OP replied, "This is a valid point. I mean, she was collecting unemployment, getting bridge payments, and working off the books, so making over $1,000 a week, but still, you are right, an apartment in the Bronx where we live goes for a minimum of $1,600 plus deposit and broker fees, so my guess is that he helped her with it." And our next story is titled, Awakening from a Reoccurring Nightmare. Please be sure to like the video if you haven't done so already. Let's get right into it. My wife had an affair 9 years ago. We were able to reconcile and move forward. 6 months ago, as we were laying in bed one morning, he texted her, She said it was out of the blue and told me she would block his number. After some investigative work, I discovered a series of texts between the two over a week-long period. I gave her the benefit and didn't press the matter. All seemed good and future call and text logs didn't indicate any further interactions. Last week, she helped my niece, who was staying for a week, with a phone and Apple ID so she could communicate with her parents. I got up to help the kids get ready for school, and my niece and youngest son were staring in disbelief at some raunchy messages that came through over the shared Apple ID. Lo and behold, her affair was engaging in some not-so-outstanding human skills. She hadn't blocked a number. Months prior, she also changed the wireless billing account password. 3 strikes. I am broken off emotionally from her. I told her it was over and I wanted a divorce. Now I'm being made to look like an overreacting oaf because nobody knows the backstory. She's making every effort to reconcile, but I am cold, with good reason. She took serious effort to highlight the fact that I have trust issues. I can't. She hurt our child, she's hurt me. I'm done and I don't care how people feel about my perceived behavior. So much for trying to respect a person's faults. And the OP has an edit for us, extracted from a common question this community has, mostly with why I stayed after what occurred 9 years in the past. I'm cool, I have my confidence and the love of my children. Quite honestly, tonight I thought a lot about why I didn't leave sooner. My answer? She has 3 children from her first marriage. I raised them for the last 14 years. If I wasn't there for them kids, they would have suffered an ill-advised upbringing. She wanted to be their friend and never their parent. All the discipline and words of wisdom came from one place. At 20, 19, and 17, they have expressed what me being in their lives has meant. It's possible they would have been okay, but highly unlikely in my opinion. I wanted to leave, but something inside me said them kids really needed me. And the OP has an update for us. After being asked for my side of the story by one of her relatives, I learned that the entire story hasn't been shared. No mention of previous contact with the other guy. No mention of the trove of pictures uncovered. As expected, a victim portrayed was painted, so I shared my side. And the first comment says, why don't people know the backstory? I remember when my therapist asked, and why does she get to escape the consequences while you look like the bad guy? And the OP replied, I really wanted my sons to respect women honestly. Small town biases would smash that, I'm certain. And the commenter replied, your example shows them how to respect women, not pretending their mother is flawless. The kids only need to know age-appropriate information about why you are separating. Friends and family need to know the full truth. Sometimes they will hold your wife accountable. At worst, they may back off harassing you to constantly forgive the lies and betrayals. You need to also show your sons how to respect yourself by your example, how to value yourself as a partner, and how to have standards. They will model what they see, and if the relationship with their mother is full of lies and pain, they will repeat it in their own life because they won't know any better. Wishing you the best. And the OP replied, I'm really going to chew on this perspective. I like it. Thank you. And another commenter says, kids emulate what they see growing up. They will look up to you for who they want to grow up to be. Give them someone they can aspire to be. Someone who respects himself and won't tolerate betrayal and infidelity. If you decide to stay and live in a sham marriage, they will assimilate it as a normal and may either reject it and refuse to marry when they grow up, or take abusive relationships. And yes, cheating is abuse, as an acceptable and make excuses for their future abusive spouses instead of kicking them out. And the next comment says, that's why you don't hide affairs. What did you think you hiding it will entail? She'd be awed at your selflessness and should fall back into your arms? Never, ever hide affairs. It's secrets that started it. In secrecy, it will thrive. And the OP replies, I don't recall saying it was hidden. Obviously, we didn't tell the kids. We reconciled and the nightmare began playing again. I don't have a desire for ranting at the pub. I talk about it with my close friends, but I see your point. And another commenter says, that's so true. I have affair issues because of other reasons than intercourse, and always told my husband, married for 28 years, he respects my honesty. I'm messed up but getting therapy. I love my husband with all my heart. Even if it doesn't make sense, I truly adore him. Sometimes people will have affairs that have nothing to do with the spouse, it's a brokenness in them. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos, and be sure to comment below what other subreddits you want me to cover.